Hi everyone, welcome to our latest video. Pleased to be able to show you today this absolutely gorgeous matte grey Kawasaki ZX6R, otherwise known as a ZX636. This is the Performance Edition, which is just 2 years old, 2016 66 plate. And all the twos, she's covered a mighty 2019 miles, and I have to say 60 of those were done by me on Sunday morning. What a cracking little bike. So what is the Performance Edition? Well, largely it's a marketing exercise by Kawasaki, if we're perfectly honest. There is no definitive performance difference between a Performance Edition and a standard ZX6R, but we do get this rather lovely carbon Akrapovic exhaust and the heat shield. And the beauty of this exhaust is it is bespoke to this model, so although it's an Akrapovic, it has the built-in exhaust butterfly there with the cables that are connected to the motor. And whilst we're currently running it without the baffle, even without the baffle, it's sensible. It's typical quality deep Akrapovic tone, but it's not going to get you into any trouble with the law. It's road legal, but it looks just the same as their beautiful race items. So we've got the Akrapovic carbon exhaust. We've got a pillion cover, and at the front of the bike we've got a tinted bubble screen. Now we've got the standard screen and the pillion seat, and you can see that screen just gives you a little bit of extra wind protection, which is certainly going to be helpful if you take the bike up to its top speed of just shy of 170 miles an hour. And I think that's the beauty of the extra 36 horsepower from a 599cc. Not only does this this Super Sport put out about 135 horsepower, but with the 636, Kawasaki were able to give a little bit of extra grunt low down and a bit more mid-range, which is where most of us who ride on the road spend our time. But you've still got that typical 600cc mad rush at the top as well. So this is the inline 4-cylinder 636cc engine, and I have to say, like most Japanese stuff nowadays, it's pretty bomb proof, but it's a really nice flexible engine. And we're also blessed with switchable power modes, so we can have full or low power. So if you find yourself caught in the rain, you can reduce the power output. But we've also got Kawasaki KTRC, which is Kawasaki's traction control system. I'll show you that on the instrument panel. You see it do its self-check, and you may be able to make out there, I know there's a bit of glare there, but you can see the F there, which is for full power, and then we can flick that over to low power, back to full, and then you can see KTRC1, so that's the least intrusion with the traction control, and we can change that to 2, 3, or even turn it off completely. As you can see, the mileage there is 2019, and obviously we're stationary at the moment. We can see we've got an integrated gear indicator there on the left as well, which will start working as soon as we start up and head off. But just before we do that, we'll do some close-ups for you. Personally, I think this is a really lovely colour scheme. It's a dark, almost charcoaly grey, and certainly suitable for somebody who is a little less gregarious than some of Kawasaki's KRT models. We all know Kawasaki like a bit of their lime green, but this is a lot more subtle. It is predominantly just matte grey with some green wheel rim tape. Oh, it's not just tape, it's actually lacquered over. Some subtle ZX6R graphics on the front. Kawasaki decals on the belly pan, and some, again, subtle graphics on the tail unit there. The only other items of green, and again I think that's what I like about this bike, is it's nice and subtle. We've got Ninja green rear shock spring there, and also up front we've got these lovely green anodised fork tops, and these are the Showa depending on how you want to pronounce it. These are the BPF, the big piston forks, and you can see we've got compression and rebound adjustment on the right and preload on the left. Okay, we'll do some close-ups with you from front to back. As you can imagine, with 2,000 miles, she is almost completely immaculate. No stone chips or anything on the front, not even on the leading edge of the front mudguard, which is a miracle. And she's currently on her standard Bridgestone S20 tyres, which are a really good tyre actually. Certainly allow you to ride pretty briskly all year round, whereas obviously when we get into the cooler months, you know, those bikes that are shod with for example Supercorsas, Pirelli Supercorsas, you're never going to get them warmed up enough. Some close-ups on the front brake there. Nissin 4-pot radial mounted brake calipers, and these now typical Kawasaki petal or wavy discs. We can show you some close-ups there on the front downpipes. And everything you can see on this bike, based on its condition, everything lends itself to having been a dry weather bike. You can see we're also fitted with R&G aero crash bungs, which, if the worst happens, will at least help to save significant damage to that lovely bodywork. Let's see if we can do a little close-up through the right hand foot hanger there. You can see the back of the engine and the rear spring, so that's unlikely to have seen any bad weather. There's that lovely exhaust again, and some close-ups onto this. I love this massive rear swing arm. I mean, it's an absolute thing of beauty, but in many respects it looks so over-engineered for a 600cc bike, but I think that's one of the reasons the ZX6s handle as well as they do. It really is a massive bit of kit. But as you can see, Kawasaki have definitely upped their game on the wheel paint from the days of the early ZX6s and ZX9s, when the paint used to peel off after a few thousand miles. No such worries with this 2-year-old bike. Okay, we'll start her up for you. Already seen this once before, but you can see instrument panel do its self check, and just thumb the starter. This bike was supplied by Colchester Kawasaki, not far from us in fact, and had her first service at 670 miles, and she's also just been serviced by ourselves as well, so 2 services in under 2,000 miles, so she's got a full service history and ready to go. And I have to say, our valued customer Trevor, who owned the bike previously from new, so it's one owner bike, has clearly cherished it, and I have to say it's a real credit to you, Trevor. It's a really lovely example. Such a quality sound from that Akrapovic exhaust. You certainly do get what you pay for when it comes to exhausts. The build quality is absolutely fantastic. And this is it just standing still. When you get this out on the road, you start unleashing all 135 horsepower, anything above 10,000 RPM, wow, it absolutely flies. Now just before we switch her off, there is one other thing to mention. Just turn the indicators on there. You may have noticed we've got a tail tidy on the back, but we've also got a really nice integrated tail light and indicator assembly. Show you the other side. And that's actually adjustable as well. You can actually adjust the manner in which the indicator works and how it's incorporated with the brake light. But again, it just tidies up and accentuates an already really nice back end. So there you have it. Just to summarise, this is our 2016 66 plate Kawasaki ZX6R ZX636 Performance Edition with 2,000 miles on the clock, a full service history, and of course that lovely carbon Akrapovic exhaust. And this bike's available at 7795. I hope you enjoyed the video.